What's up, guys? Corin70 here, and I just finished watching. I know I'm kind of late doing it because they've already done it, but I just finished watching the introductory press conferences of both Brad Holmes, the Lions' new general manager, and Dan Campbell, the new head coach of the Detroit Lions. And my first impressions are they didn't really say the same kind of things, but they both had the same ideas and same mindset that they want to win and they want to do it the right way and they want to do it their way. I love their energy. I love their enthusiasm. Something Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia never showed, or lack thereof. And I'm just very happy that the Lions have chosen Brad Holmes as their next general manager and Dan Campbell as new head coach. I mean, I really wanted Saleh, but right now, I'd take Dan Campbell over Robert Saleh anytime right now, to be honest. I just love the energy. Now, I'm not saying that Robert Saleh is a bad coach. Robert Saleh is probably going to be a really good coach in New York, and he's in one of the better situations than Dan Campbell is in right now because the Jets, have so many first-round picks, I think they have the largest cap space coming into the free agency, so they're in a good spot. And I wish Robert Saleh nothing but the best in New York. I mean, let's say he got hired here, I'd be happy with him too. But just what I've seen from Dan Campbell so far in his little interviews and the introductory speech and just the energy he has shown, and just that he has a little bit more experience as being a head coach than Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh had never been a head coach before. He's only been a defense coordinator. Dan Campbell has been a head coach. He was an interim head coach at Miami in 2015. He went 5-7. I mean, yes, people are going to say, oh, that's a terrible record. Well, when you're the interim head coach and your head coach got fired, that means your team wasn't that great. And when you take a not such a great team and almost go 500 with them, you did something kind of right with that team. And he did say something, not in an introductory speech, but his little speech he did, his little interview we did with Tori Petrie. I watched that as well. He said that he, kicked himself by not calling a time on the first half against the Bills in 2015. And, he said that maybe that happened. Maybe we could have won that game. And, he said that stuff like that, so, those little things, calling timeouts and all that. Being a first-time head coach, it's hard because he's never been there before. He's done that before. He's, as he says, been through the lumps of an NFL season. So, I guess having that little experience may help him. And but like I said, I'm just really excited to have hang on. There's something else I want to look at. I probably shouldn't have eaten something as I'm doing a video, but I'm hungry, so I decided to eat a piece of chocolate. But yeah, Dan Campbell. Players like him. I like him already. Now, from what I've understood, we're watching both introductory speeches, is that they don't want to go into a full rebuild, like a long-term rebuild. They want to do a little retooling, as Brad Holmes said. Damn it, now I'm thirsty. I wish I had something to drink. Chocolate makes you so thirsty. It's so good, but it makes you thirsty. But no, he said he wants to go into retool. He says that there's some aspects of the team that he wants to really address. My guess is probably the defensive side more than the offensive side, and also what he wants to do with Matthew Stafford. I'll get that in a minute. But what Brad Holmes says is he wants to have a competitive team to go out right in 2021, right in the next season. And so it looks like they want to try to fight for a Super Bowl. I mean, I guess every team does, but if you're going into a rebuild, you're not necessarily thinking of a Super Bowl victory or going to the Super Bowl right in the first year of the rebuild. You usually can take a few years to rebuild, then go to that Super Bowl. Now, obviously, even a rebuilding team can win a Super Bowl. In the National Football League, any team can win on any given Sunday. And that was shown last year. Even last year, as example. The Jets were winless They go into LA to face the 9-4 Los Angeles Rams, and they beat them. Then the very next week, they beat the Browns. Both teams that they beat went to the divisional round of their conferences. I know they lost in the divisional round, but they were still a playoff team. And the Jets beat them. And the Jets are the second worst team in the league, second behind the Jaguars. So that just shows me that any given Sunday, a team can win. It doesn't matter how good they are, doesn't matter how bad they are. If you're in the National Football League and you're a professional team, you can beat another professional team on any given Sunday. So, but it just by the way they're talking, it looks like they want to try to retool the season and build through the draft. That's what their philosophy is. That's what Brad Holmes said. He said, yes, free agency is a big part, but he wants to build through the draft. And that's what you got to do. You got to build through the draft. So you got to draft well. But, no. It looks like that they're going to try to, retool the season and try to put a competitive team out next year and compete. And that's what I love to see. I mean, even if the Lions go 5-11 again. Let's say they go 5-11 again next year. But they showed improvement on the defensive side. They were able to stop teams. They were able to create turnovers. And they showed that they can be a competitive team. I mean, look at the Los Angeles Chargers. They're also one of the worst teams in the league, record-wise. But most of their games, they lost by one score. One score. So that means they were competitive through the whole season. If the Lions do that, that shows me they improved off of last season. Were able to make stops. Were able to, create turnovers. But they just couldn't get the job done at the time. But that's all I'm asking for, is them to be competitive and have a chance to win every single game. I'm not saying for them to win every single game. I just want to have a chance to win every single game. Where, it comes down to where they only lose by one possession. If they do lose, because that means they're in the game, they have a chance. And that's all I'm asking for. And with Dan Quinn, God, I can't keep saying Dan Quinn. It's Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell, the energy he shows and the way he's been talking in his introductory speech, I gotta say it. That kneecap reference where let's say how does it go? Where if you punch us, we're gonna smile at you. If you knock us down, it's gonna 2 shots. It's gonna knock us down. We're gonna get back off, take a kneecap. We're gonna bite off a kneecap. Then it's going to take 2 more shots, knock us down. Then on the way back up, we're going to take the other kneecap off. Then it's going to take three shots to get us down. Then on the way back, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Then after a while, we're going to be the last one standing. I don't know why I find it funny. I love the energy. I love the mentality that he's going to set to the team. I'm actually really excited for the future. I actually really am. I think Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, I think that Sheila Ford found 2 really good people, really smart people. It looks like Sheila Ford actually cares. I'm not saying that Martha Ford never cared, but I mean throughout the years, it looked like the Fords never really cared about the team, because we've never been to a Super Bowl. We've only had 1 playoff win since Barry Sanders' time. Actually, no, we've only had 1 playoff win since Super Bowl era, I believe, and that was with Barry Sanders. We've been to the playoffs 3 times since then, I believe, and we lost all 3. So, but I mean, it looks like Sheila Ford actually cares, and she actually wants to win, and that's what Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have been saying. Sheila Ford wants to win, but she wants to do it the right way, and the right way to do it is to get the right people. And then, Dan Quinn's also said that. He said that you can have the athletic. He made an example. You can have the most athletic player in the world, but if you don't have a vision, that is the thing that I was impressed the most about, the introductory speeches. And Dan Campbell said it, the most. You must have a vision for your team. Because it's not about having all the superstars. It's about having the right people and having the right scheme to fit them. And I'm going to go back to what I was just about to say. Dan Campbell said this: if you can have the most athletic guy and the athletic player ever, but if you don't have a vision for him, then then what do you have? Like, what are you gonna do with him? Like, and he said that if you tell me that one of our cornerbacks is a really good blitzer, he's gonna send him. He's gonna send him. Or if he also said that if running it 10 times in a row opens up the pass game, we're gonna run it 10 times in a row, or vice versa with the pass. Like, I love that. I love that that he wants to do what it takes to win, and that is something that I think Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn failed to do. And Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia has never shown that this type of energy and enthusiasm that Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have shown, and that's why I really like the hires. And like I said, I'm really excited for the future. I really am, and I love that they're not going to go into a full rebuild because I think Detroit has suffered enough, and they said it too. They deserve a winner. We do deserve a winner. Detroit has the Lions have suffered enough. They need to get out to win. So now, obviously, like I said, we're probably not going to win the Super Bowl next year or the year after that. But I think the playoffs can be reachable even next year and the year after that. I think we can, as long as we draft smart and draft well, which I believe Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell can. And then put together the right staff. Aaron Glenn, the defensive back coach of the New Orleans Saints, will be our defensive coordinator. I like that hire as well because the Saints have really good secondary. They've always have. And that is something the Detroit Lions also have struggled recently. It's been their secondary. Their secondary has been one of the worst, if not the worst. So, and a guy coming from a successful secondary, I'm really looking forward to that. And it also looks like we've hired Giff Smith, odd name, but he's going to be our new defensive line coach. He was a defensive line coach at the Chargers, who have a pretty decent defensive line over there. So, it's looking like that they're hiring people, and it just looks like we're actually gonna do something. That's what it looks like. And I can go on and on saying just this and that. Just my point of view, it looks like that we got the right people, and the right people are hiring the right people, if that makes sense. But they're still unsure what they want to do with Matthew Stafford. Both Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell both were asked in their introductory speech about Matthew Stafford. Brad Holmes said that Matthew Stafford's a great player, and he hasn't talked to Matt. But this is their interview. He may have talked to Matt by now, but he's still thinking. He's still debating. He's gonna have to talk to the new head coach. Because before Brad Holmes' introductory speech was before it was officially known that Dan Campbell is going to be our next head coach. So he said he's going to have to talk to the head coach, which is now Dan Campbell, and see what he wants to do with Matthew Stafford. And Dan Campbell said pretty much the same thing. He said that Matthew Stafford is the strongest player you'll come. He is gritty, and he's a really talented quarterback, which he is. So he said, but like I said, he has to talk to Brad Holmes and discuss what they want to do at quarterbacking. So it's unclear whether they're going to trade him or keep him. But like I said, I'm really excited for the Lions' future. Having these two guys, general manager and head coach, the energy, the enthusiasm, and the players will like them. I really do. And I really think they'll bring some superstars into Detroit once we get the cap space. And because, part of it has to do with money. It's a business. But if a player wants to play for a coach, then it's a little easier to get him on your team. And that is something that when Matt Patricia was head coach, no one wanted to play for Matt Patricia. No one really did. So we really couldn't get a big superstar. One, we didn't really have the money. But two, even if we did have the money, I doubt we would get a superstar because no one wants to play for Matt Patricia. So, but Dan Quinn, God, I don't know how many times I said Dan Quinn. I should, go back and count. I probably said it like 10,000 times. But Dan Campbell, that's what I'm just going to say Dan. I'm just going to say Dan. But for Dan Campbell, I think that players will see that he's the coach that you want to play for. I mean, if I was a player and a superstar, I would like to go play for Dan Campbell. I mean, the energy he shows, the enthusiasm, and just the way he wants to run his team. It's just, I feel like that a superstar would want to come here. I mean, obviously, Detroit is not somewhere you really want to live at, but, like I said, if you got a coach who is well liked around the league and you want to play for him, you might as well take a chance in Detroit. And, I feel like just getting a playoff win will uplift the city, because he wants to help the city as well. He wants to bring back up the city of Detroit. And the way to do that, if you want to do it sports-wise, is to get the Lions to a playoff victory, even if you lose the next round. If you get them to the wild card and you win a wild card game, that let alone will uplift the city a little bit, give us hope that, oh my God, we did something different. We actually won a playoff game, and then build off of that. Now, obviously, you want to win a Super Bowl, and next year we'll be looking. Everything's gonna be in it, of course, at the start of the season. But I'm just saying, make the playoffs, win a playoff game, and I believe with the coaching style of Dan Campbell, and hopefully, like I said, free agency is coming up, Senior Bowl's coming up, the draft's coming up, and I'll do more of the video. I know I did say I was gonna do a mock draft, but I'm probably not. I don't know a lot about this draft class like I did last year. And I was like, you can research and all that. Well, I just don't really have the time to do a lot of research. Like, I know, like, the first 2 rounds, but after that, like, there's players, like, I don't really pay attention to. Like, I've only paid attention to really pretty much the Big Ten and then the college football playoff. But no, I'll do more. Like, I'll do these type of videos after free agency and after the draft and see what this team, I believe, can do. But with the GM we have and the head coach we have and the staff we're building, I think that the Lions going to the playoffs next year is not far-fetched. As long as we are smart and smart in free agency and especially smart in the draft. That's number one point. If you want to build up a team, you got to build through the draft, which means you got to draft well. So I'm hoping that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell will scout well and find the players. I mean, you could find a steal in the 7th round, in the 6th round. I mean, you don't have to find the steals in the 1st round. You can find them in the 6th round. So, but like I said, I'm really excited. I really am. And like I said, any team can beat any team on any given Sunday. No matter how good the one team is and no matter how bad another team is. The bad team can beat the good team on any given Sunday. And that's where I believe a mindset should be like that as well for the Lions. Saying they may not be one of the best teams in the league, but if they play their scheme and they do their game plan and they do what they're supposed to do, they can beat any given team. And I believe if the 7th seed playoffs, or if that is true and it's going to be permanent, I believe that they can make the 7th seed or even the 6th seed. Now, I'm not saying that winning the division is in play for them next year. I mean, hell, I guess it could be. But in all likelihood, will probably be either the 2nd or 3rd team, and depending on how well the NFC is, we'll probably be the 7th or 6th seed. But just making the playoffs and having a chance for the Super Bowl if you make the playoffs. Because if you make the playoffs, you have a chance for the Super Bowl. Because you're one of the best teams to make it out of the, All I'm saying is that as long as we show improvement next year, it doesn't matter what the record is. I just want to see improvement, especially on the defensive side. That's all I'm asking for. Now, obviously, as a fan, I'm going to be rooting for them to go to the Super Bowl because every year you want your team to go to the Super Bowl and win it. I mean, that's just a fan standpoint. No matter who you're a fan of. I mean, if you don't think your team can make the Super Bowl every year, as just as a fan standpoint, even if it's out of the question and it's just not going to happen, then you're not a real fan. Because I know you're saying, well, I'm a realistic fan, and I know that realistically we're not going to make the playoffs. Screw that. If you're a fan of your team, you want your team to be the best. You want your team to win the championship every year. No matter how good or bad your team is, you want them to win that team. I mean, even though deep down you know that losing may be the best option, Still, you want your team to win every game. You want your team to go to the Super Bowl. You want your team to win the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter about anything else. As a fan, that should be your number one thing, is you want your team to go to the Super Bowl and win it. And that is my mindset. But like I said, I know realistically a Super Bowl may be out of the question, but a playoff victory is not. So that is my standpoint, and that is what I'm going to keep the mentality is. I can't wait until next year, and I'm looking forward to see what we get for agency in the draft. You guys can come at me in the comment section and, call me, crazy and stupid and all that. You can go ahead and do that. I'll take it. But I said what I said, and I'm not taking anything back. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day.